Hey there, it's Sydney with Tastefully Frugal, and today we're talking all about how to make t-shirts, and more specifically, how to make t-shirts with our Cricut Joy. One of the questions I get asked the most when it comes to the Cricut Joy is, can I make adult size shirts? And the answer is absolutely yes. Even though you're limited to a 4.5-inch wide cut, there are ways that you can work with your design in Design Space to make it possible to make adult size shirts with the Joy. So I'll show you in Design Space how to change designs with the contour tool so that you can cut them on the Joy, as well as we'll be making a onesie and a toddler shirt. And we're going to be using 3 different heat sources to apply our iron-on vinyl. It's a mouthful. We'll be using the EasyPress 2, the EasyPress Mini, and a household iron. So I'll be sharing tips and tricks on getting the most out of your project with each tool in terms of longevity, how to make sure your shirts or onesies last, as well as tips on how to use the tool when applying iron-on vinyl. But let's go ahead and hop on over to Design Space first so I can show you how to work with a design that is the size of an adult shirt to make it fit to be cut on the Joy. If you prefer to learn, if you're more of a written learner, like to learn by reading, there we go. I have included in the description of this video a full blog post with step-by-step tutorials, as well as the link to the Design Space canvas. These are images that are in Cricut Design Space already, so you can make these same shirts for you and your family. So let's hop into Design Space and get started. So this Chief Crafter design and all these designs are actually pre-made Cricut Access projects. So we are going to search in Cricut Access for Chief Crafter to pull up our designs. Once we find the design, click Customize, and then we are going to change the size of our canvas just by making it 75% so we can see everything we're working with. Now you'll see over here in the Layers panel, there is a yellow triangle. If you click that, it will tell you what the error is or why you can't cut it at the project as is. Obviously this design is too big for the Joy, so let's change that. First things first, I'm going to get rid of the blue insert for the scissors because I just want to do one color to keep it a really simple project. Next, because there is no error message with Chief and Crafter, I'm going to attach those 2 pieces so it's easier to apply it in the center when we're pressing our design on. And then I'm going to use the contour tool to make this bigger piece into 3 little pieces. So I'm going to duplicate it twice so that we have 3 pieces total. And then I'm going to click the contour tool, which is in the very bottom right corner. Once it pulls up, I'm just going to click pieces in the design and it will remove those from the canvas. So you can see that they're going from like highlighted to gray. So we're going to do this in 3 sections. We're going to start with our left section. And as you can see here, once we've done that, we only have the left side. Now let's do the right side. So we're going to click Contour again, but this time we're going to get rid of the left side pieces and all of the pieces along the bottom except for the last, the far right one. Once we've done that, we'll click the X up in the corner and you'll see that we have our right side done. Last but not least, let's just do that bottom line. So we'll click Contour one more time. And this time we'll just get rid of the corner pieces as well as the far right and the far left bottom line pieces. Once we've selected everything, we'll hit X and we'll see we have just the bottom line. So let's go ahead and move our pieces over and line them up. It doesn't have to be perfect, that's completely okay, but line them up about where they would be for the design, and then just move your text and your scissors over. Now at this point, I'm going to save my design just in case if Design Space has an issue or my internet goes out or something goes wrong with my computer. I like saving my projects several times just to make sure I don't have to redo any of that work. So once we have this project saved, I want to show you how to copy and paste a design from a different canvas onto this canvas. So we're going to open up a new window. We just click File and then New Window. And we are going to search projects. Like I said, all of these are pre-made Access projects. So we're just searching Cricut Access projects. We'll select Chief Crafter again. Once we do the Crafter in Training, we'll click Customize. And as you can see, we have an error message on this one too. The design here is set to be 8 inches wide. I found that for onesies, the best size is 4 inches wide. So we'll just change the width on this design to 4 inches instead of 8. And as you can see, the error message goes away. Now, to move this to our other canvas, we are going to make sure everything's selected and then go to Edit, Copy, go back to our first canvas, go to Edit, Paste. And there is our Crafter in Training. So let's go ahead and go back to the Crafter in Training window, go to My Projects, search Cricut Access again, and then for the third time search Chief Crafter. Let's pick the last design, the Assistant Crafter, click Customize. We can replace the canvas because we've already moved that piece over to our other canvas. So let's go ahead and get rid of the blue scissors again. Select the whole design, change the width to 5 inches, which is perfect for toddler size shirts, and that's the shirt we're making today. Since the error message is gone, we'll go ahead and click Edit, Edit, Copy, and then we'll go back to our first canvas and click the Edit button again and paste. And there we have our third design. So we have all 3 designs here. Again, I'm going to save my project again, just to make sure that everything's saved and I don't have to redo any work. And then before I click Make It, I want to make sure that each design is double checked to make sure each design is sized correctly. As you can see here, the Chief Crafter is actually a little bit too big. So we're going to change this down to 9.5 inches wide, which I found is the best size for adult size shirts, small through large. Once everything's sized correctly, we'll go to Make It, and you'll be prompted or you'll be asked how you want to cut your materials. Since we're using Smart Iron-On, we'll click Without Mat, and then we need to change the length of our material. The longest pieces of Smart Iron-On that you can get are 24 inches long, so we'll change that length to 24, and I'll just put the last design on a second mat. Next, we'll mirror our design. Make sure you mirror on both mats. Anytime you're working with iron-on, always mirror your design. And then we'll click Continue. Next, we will connect our Joy to Design Space. And once it's connected via Bluetooth, we can select our material, select Smart Iron-On, and then let's go. Okay, so first you'll open your Joy lid and then make sure that you have the shiny side of your iron-on facing down. You want the dull side facing up. And the Joy will, once you have selected your material in Design Space, it'll prompt you to load the material on your Joy. The light up top will be blinking, and you'll notice like just barely it fed the whole piece of iron-on through. It's doing that just to make sure that you have enough material before it starts cutting, and then if you don't have enough material, you've already used and ruined material. So once your design is cut, we'll go ahead, or once the Joy cuts your design, we're going to use scissors to cut each individual piece out. Because we are going to be using these pieces in one design, I like to cut as close to the design as possible with my scissors, so that way we don't have a whole lot of extra cutting that we have to do before we can do our design. These are Cricut scissors I'm using, and they come in the toolkits with the weeding tools, and they are so handy when it comes to cutting iron-on, vinyl, paper. It's a really great toolkit to have. I've linked it in the description for this video. Once we have all of our pieces cut, then we are going to weed our designs. And this Cricut weeding tool, if you only get one tool, make it this tool. It makes weeding iron-on, weeding vinyl, just getting rid of those excess materials so much easier. I definitely recommend the weeding tool. You can get a tool set that has several different hooks. They even have a Joy-sized kit that comes with the weeding tool, a scraper, and a spatula as well. So, like I said, if there's only one tool that you can get for your Cricut, make it the weeding tool, because it will make your life so much easier no matter what material you're working with. So let's go ahead and finish weeding off this design, and then I will show you what we do next to prep. Okay, once we have everything weeded, we are going to cut down some of that excess backing on each piece of our design. That way we don't have to worry about any overlap and potentially ruining our design by pressing the iron-on the plastic pieces. So just use your scissors again to get as close to your iron-on as possible, just on each of the pieces. That way it's super easy to lay everything out on your shirt once it's time to press. Once we have cut everything down as close to size as possible, let's go ahead and get our EasyPress started preheating and prepare our shirt. So preheat your EasyPress to 315 degrees for 30 seconds, and then put your shirt on your EasyPress mat and preheat your shirt for about 5 to 10 seconds. Next, for adult shirts, I found it's best if you start the top of your design about 3 fingers down from the neckline. So we did that with the scissors, and then we lined up Chief Crafter, and I'm just measuring the bottom part of Chief Crafter to make sure that it's centered on the design. Next, we are going to have our frame in. We'll just do from left to right, do that left end piece, and then the bottom piece, and then the right piece. I like to have Design Space open as I'm doing this so I can look at my design to make sure that how it looks on my shirt is how it's supposed to look when we created the design in Design Space. So you can definitely take your time moving your pieces around. Go ahead and measure again once you have everything laid out to make sure that it is sized right from the top as well as on both left and right sides. Once everything is sized correctly, we will go ahead and press with our EasyPress 2. I like to use medium pressure for 30 seconds. Because this design is wider than 9 inches long, or 9 inches wide, I am going to do 2 presses. So we'll do the press on the left side and then the press on the right side. You can definitely use a bigger EasyPress, but I found the 9x9 is the most versatile no matter what designs you're doing. Once we've pressed on the front, what we'll want to do is flip our shirt over, make sure you get all the wrinkles out, and then press again on the back, the same 315, but you only have to do 15 seconds. So I just start the timer, and then at 15 seconds, I'll move it over to the other side. Once you have pressed your back for 15 seconds, remove your shirt from your EasyPress mat and wait for your iron-on to completely cool before peeling the backing off. And then start in the top left corner and just peel each piece of the backing off one by one. I like to do the borders, and then we just did the scissors, and last but not least, the words. And there you have it, your adult size shirt that you made with a Cricut Joy. Next, let's do the onesie, and for the onesie, we're going to use the EasyPress Mini. You want to preheat your Mini to the 2 line mark. And again, like we did with the EasyPress 2, we're preheating our shirt or our onesie. The onesies fit best. I found the design looks best on the cute little babies when there is an inch or 1 finger from the top. So that's how we have everything sized here. And then when you are applying the EasyPress Mini to your iron-on, you want to move it in small movements and do it for about 25 seconds. That way you can get the full heat on every part of your design. Just like you did with the EasyPress 2, once you've pressed it on the front of your design, you will just flip your onesie over and press it again on the back. You can do it for about 10 or so less seconds. But the EasyPress Mini is such a great tool for onesies or hats, makeup bags, anything that has a seam that makes it hard for the larger heat presses or easy presses to get full contact on your iron-on. Then again, just peel your backer off and your onesie is done. Okay, before we get into the tutorial part of applying iron-on vinyl with a household iron, I want to share some tips that will help you get the best quality project out of using an iron. Number 1 tip, do not use an ironing board. You need to use a solid surface. So I'm just using my craft table here. You can do it on your kitchen counter, you can do it on the floor, but definitely do a solid surface versus an ironing board. Tip number 2, if you don't have an EasyPress mat, definitely use just a regular towel. You can use an EasyPress mat as well with an iron, but if you don't have it, you can just use a towel. And what this does is this keeps the heat inside your shirt. It keeps the heat from leaving your shirt and going to your tabletop or wherever you're pressing. Also, I like, no matter what shirt I've made, and I've made several shirts with an iron before the EasyPress came out, I've always used my iron on the cotton setting, and which is usually one of the highest settings on your iron. And just like the EasyPress Mini, you want to move it around in slow motions, but also put a lot of pressure on it, just because a household iron, A, doesn't weigh a whole lot, but B, it doesn't have consistent heat either. So you want to move it around so that your entire design is getting heat. And then that pressure, if you press as hard as you can, will make sure that your design gets set into your shirt or whatever you're pressing it on. Just like you would do with the EasyPress or the EasyPress Mini, I also flip the shirt over after I've done the front, and I do the same pressing motion on the back. I'll show you in just a second in the tutorial, just to make sure that you have full heat from the front and the back. So let's go ahead and get started, and let me show you exactly what I do when using an iron to apply iron on vinyl. Okay, so we have our towel down on our table. I heated my iron up for about 2 minutes on the cotton setting, and I'm going to preheat my shirt for about 10 seconds. Just like I did with the other designs, I'm going to line this design up. For the toddler shirts, toddler and kid shirts, I found about 2 finger lengths from the top of the neckline is perfect. And then again, just use a ruler to make sure for the sides that it's lined up centered as well. Once we've done that, we will use our iron, and make sure that you're pressing pretty hard. You're going to want to use as much pressure as you can with your iron, and just like the EasyPress Mini, move it around in motions, like I said, small motions. That way every piece of your design can get the heat it needs. I do this for about 30 seconds with the iron, and then the back I do about 30 seconds also. Because the household iron can drop temperatures quickly, I do it a little bit longer than I would the EasyPress Mini, because the Mini can hold temperatures a lot better. Then again, we're going to just cool down our iron on before we remove the backing and peel it away. And you have your assistant crafter shirt. So as you can see, you don't necessarily have to have the largest EasyPress or a heat press to make shirts. You can use a household iron to make shirts and still have shirts that are professional quality, that look great and are super fun to make. If you like this video, I'd love to have you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Tastefully Frugal. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I've also linked in the description of this video, like I said, I have a full blog post with a written tutorial, as well as all the different materials that we use today and the tools. So I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.